Dan, welcome.
Yo, what's
Thank
up?
you. It's good to see you again, man. It's been a hot minute.
I know it's
Last
been a
time was
while. Yeah,
well, it was Horden Pavilion in 23.
yeah, and I wasn't there.
Oh, you
I didn't
weren't
do that time.
either.
I haven't been to
Yeah.
Australia for almost 6 years. I
Damn.
was just I was just a young man at the beginning of my journey.
Now you're a seasoned veteran, as they call it.
Yeah, well, I've at least gone from early 30s to late 30s. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
my kids have
Oh,
grown up from babies to like full humans.
dude, yeah, you know what? It is wild when they talk about the whole like your kids grow up too fast.
Yeah.
Like my kid is in high school now, and I'm looking at him, and sometimes I just look at him and I'm like, where did those shoulders and that fucking jawline and that six pack come from? Like, number one, it's quite demoralizing, but it does
Yeah.
really go so fast. And you see those things like, like you get like Facebook memories come up, and you're just like holding this tiny little kid,
Yeah.
or it's their first kick of a soccer ball or football, sorry. And and then you're just like, holy shit, like this kid's like a couple of years away from getting a job and driving a car.
Yeah, dude, I mean, my kids are only 3 and 6, but I find even this early, just like seeing the pictures of them when they were like newborn babies, like it hurts my soul a little bit.
Yeah,
You know, it's
dude.
like I almost like, is it healthy for me to even be looking back at these pictures? Like, were humans ever supposed to be able to do this? Do you know what I mean? Like, we never had photos for the longest time, and now have we just take pictures of everything, and there's a million.
Everything. Yeah.
I'm like looking at pictures of my kid from just like 3 years ago. I'm like, I don't remember them being like that.
No. It's like, oh shit, my kid's
That's been
eating an apple.
erased from
Better
my
take a
memory.
photo. Like,
Yeah.
you know what gets me is have you seen those apps where they use AI to essentially they show a photo of the kid and it goes through a thing where it shows how your child will potentially age, and then it
Right.
gets all
Yeah.
the way till they're like an old person. I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that, man, because that
No.
like that would bum
No.
me out.
Yeah. I'm
Well, I'm
seeing
gonna
that. I'm seeing that in the mirror for my eyes every day, so I don't need to
yeah,
see it.
dude, 100%. And I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna say like, enjoy it because it really does go super fucking quick, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, look, that's why I missed that Australian tour, and that's why the rest of my band right now are in the US, and I'm flying in a couple days to join them, but I'm not doing the whole tour. I was just saying in the last interview, like it's school summer holidays here. My kids are at
yeah,
school for 8 weeks,
yeah,
and during those 8 weeks, there's a 6 week US tour, and like I just can't like leave my family for 6 weeks. We got, like I'll only get so many of these times, to spend
yeah.
with my kids while they're young. So
That's the thing.
unfortunately, like it kills me not to be away with the guys, and like I'm still in the WhatsApp groups, and they're all having a jolly old time, with in jokes that I'm not a part of, and it hurts me, but like sometimes you just got to make hard decisions.
You really do, man. And it's you haven't chosen the most forgiving industry or career for that.
No, no, I haven't. But like, yeah, you know, fortunately, I enjoy it, and um, it's worth it. And also like, we're the rest of the guys in the band aren't interested in touring themselves into the ground, so
Yeah,
we tour. We haven't done a 6 week tour since 2018 or 2019, and that was when my eldest daughter was 9 months old, and she did the tour with us, which was tough.
wow.
And we just, I mean, I think this 6 week tour that we have right now, I think it's the last time we'll ever tour for that length of time. From now on, we don't really like touring more than a few weeks. The Australian tour is perfect for us because it's 3 shows.
That's yeah, that's pretty much
The thing is,
that's
dude, like
Australia though. It's the East Coast, and then out you go.
yeah, exactly. And I don't say that. I won't say that to, because the Perth
No,
people will
you'll
come.
get the hate mail from Perth and Adelaide. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like we definitely still love doing it. Like whenever we go on tour, it's like it's a total treat.
Mm.
We don't drag up. We don't tour so much that we hate it. I know so many bands that you see them and they're just like, fuck my life.
Dude,
And
the length that like make them suffer. Like we were hanging with those guys a couple of weeks ago, and they were telling us the extent of touring that they've done. Then they come back and they're doing a full regional Australian tour, which is all the stops along the way, like something like fucking 20 shows or something, 25 shows,
Yeah,
and
it's.
then
I
back
mean,
overseas. It's wild.
there's a there's definitely a financial component to it. Like some bands will need to make ends meet and to pay their bills, and I respect that. But I also see bands our size or even much bigger. You know, like Link. We just did these shows with Linkin Park, and they
Mm.
got 2 weeks off. They've just done 6 weeks in Europe. They got 2 weeks off, and then they're going for 2 months in the States. And like, look, their kids are grown up, and obviously they're super hungry because they've come back and it's going really well. And I totally get that. But from my perspective, I'm like, are you not like you guys don't need to? Why are you doing that? You know, Metallica, they just like do the weekend, fly to some holiday destination with their family, like hang
Yeah.
out in bougie restaurants and go to hang
Well,
out on the
there's
beach.
like there's that gap between. So you guys have got to that point where it's like, oh, we don't have to do a million dates a year
Yeah,
to make ends meet. And as you mentioned, some bands have to, but then there's that next gap where you can be your Metallica or whatever and go, oh, we can do like a week here, a week 3 months
yeah. I
later,
mean,
and make bank.
Metallica is definitely, and Linkin Park really. They're both like
Yeah.
viewing it. They're at the top of the mountain. Do you know what I mean? So, and we would be better off if we toured more, and we would maybe even be bigger, and our streams would be more, so there'd be more revenue from that. But it's just like trying to find a balance between like how much money do we need, what's best for us mentally, what's best for our families, So we're just trying to strike a balance. It's that whole work-life balance thing, I guess. And I see bands like really complaining about it when I think, you can say no, right?
But
You
then
just
there's
you
that
can't.
mentality. There's that mentality of like, but we might not get offered this one again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, every band is in a different situation, and maybe I'm speaking from some metalcore ivory tower where we've got a good situation that others
Yeah,
don't. So, like, I do understand everyone's situation is different, but yeah, for us, I'm just trying to find the balance. My kids are only going to be young once, and so I'm
that's
just
it.
like trying to make my way through this period of my life without sort of everything falling apart and my kids growing up resenting me.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing as well. It's like, I mean, you also don't want to look back on something that anybody else in the scene who has got to the level that you guys have would look back on that and be so proud. You don't want to look on that with any resentment, you know what I mean? And be like,
Yeah,
well, fuck, like this is the best job in the world, but it made me feel so shitty so often.
yeah. What's the
But
cost?
that's it. I also think obviously you'd been doing it for quite a while before you had kids. I was chatting with Bert today from the Used, and he um, he said that that's just like his kids are just used to it now,
Yeah.
and they just know that dad goes to work and he comes home. Dad goes to work and he comes home.
Totally, and then people make it work. And like I a couple of years ago, we were doing some festivals, and I was having a conversation with Jacoby from Papa Roach about this exact thing because obviously those guys are a little bit older than us, and their kids are teenage years,
Mm.
and he had said he had some conversations with his son about it, and his son like this is maybe private and I shouldn't be saying it, but he had said, like his son had said to him, I'm not mad at I was never mad at you, I just missed you. And so it's like
Yeah,
they can definitely overplay the impact. And I know my dad was away for other working in a different type of business when I was a kid, so there is an element of you got to do what you got to do. So I'm sure when the teenage years I could probably tour more, but then I'm the only one with kids, and by the time my kids are teenagers, I just know that my bandmates are going to start popping out kids as well.
yeah, that's it. At least they'll have your support because you'll know exactly, you'll know the place they're coming
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
It's
totally. Look, we're making it work. I love the way we do things. We go away for 2 weeks, we come home for a while, and then instead of doing like a 6 week European tour, we break it up into pieces, and we get to it's just like by the end of the tour, you feel like, yeah, that was good.
that
That'll
was
do for
good.
now.
I'm ready.
Like
Yeah.
you enjoy every single show. You really soak it in, and then go home and catch up on real life. So it works for us.
I think that it's in terms of that sort of thing as well, as much as it's hard, and I know as well because I'm in a separated like split relationship, so I get my kids
Mhm.
50% of the time. So it's like I already don't see my kids for half of their life as it is, and now
Mhm.
my son's basically a teenager and he's got his life and his mates, and I'm just like, oh, remember the times when they just wanted to hang out with you all the time?
Right.
That goes
Yeah.
quick and it's hard to deal with. And but in saying that, at least for all the shit that comes with social media and the internet and all that, we are lucky to live in a time where we have things like FaceTime and Zoom and stuff like that, where if you can navigate time differences, you can spend a lot of
Yeah.
face to face time having those conversations. Because I can't imagine what it must have been like back in the day.
Yeah. Total separation.
Yeah.
Trying to find
Well,
payphones and shit.
100%. Well,
Sending a fax.
I think we've probably bummed everyone out enough. let's let's talk about the exciting news that you are coming back to Australia, and we're
Yeah.
very very fucking stoked. And we're gonna get to hear some of this incredible new album, man. How's the
With me on
how's
drums.
absolutely yeah.
Although last time the band had Troy on drums, who's a far, far better drummer than me. But never mind.
Oh, don't go fishing for
I bring my
compliments, mate.
own I bring my own unique twist to the songs.
Mate.
In the form of mistakes. No, yeah, I can't wait to come back. Honestly, that it's not just the shows, it's like I've got so many friends in Australia that I haven't seen in a good while. So we're really excited and like we really tried to make sure we came back at the right time with the right bands. Um yeah, we really wanted to make sure this tour was perfect because Australia is just somewhere that's always embraced us, I guess. You know, I've spoken about it before. We got a great start there because when we first came in 2009, Parkway Drive brought us out.
Mm.
So like our first ever Australian show was opening River Stage in Brisbane, which is like the opposite of our story in every single other market of the world. Like our
Yeah,
first show in the US was playing to 9 people in Johnson City, Tennessee, in a bar. Our first show in the UK was playing a pub in Brighton. Our first show in Europe was playing in Hamburg with the Chariot to 15 people. You know, like
Jesus.
everywhere else we started from ground zero. But in Australia we got this, we got to
Little
skip a
bit of
few
a leg up.
steps.
I think that
Yeah.
it is one of the positive things about being so far away. I guess for not only for Australians, or in a way for Australians, but for overseas bands, because before a lot of bands have the funds to get all the way over here because we're 20 fucking hours from everyone,
Yeah.
or before a touring company is going to take the chance, unless a band is going to sort of double down and go, no, we want that band to come over here early in their career. It gives most overseas bands a chance to kind of solidify themselves and make a name for themselves. So
Do you know what our secret was? Our secret was playing
bangers.
Halo with Parkway Drive. If we hadn't played Halo with Parkway Drive on tour in Europe, I don't think we would have been had the same opportunity.
Yeah,
But
right. That's
so
pretty cool.
that's our secret.
Yeah.
But no, like we feel like there's, things are going really well for the band these days, and especially here in UK and Europe, it's sort of like it's just blown up to another level, and I feel like that's that should be the case in Australia,
Yeah. We
and we
cop the
felt like that
residual
for a little
effect of,
while.
yeah, we do cop the residual effect of, when a band in, especially Western countries like the States or the UK,
Yeah,
start
we
to,
see on Spotify, we get all the data. You can see like there's a ton of people listening to us, especially in those eastern cities. So,
mm,
um, for whatever reason, Australia has largely embraced us. So, yeah, I mean, the tour should be great, and I think the supports are cool. I just think as a whole package, it should be a good tour on paper. It should be a good tour.
well, when we saw the lineup, we were like, oh, fuck, like that's, that's a very, very smart move to bring those bands out. Like, obviously cool for you guys as well, because having played with the Chariot early in your career,
Yeah,
now bringing House of Protection out,
yeah,
and then like President, obviously, you know, the hype around the band. It's a
Industry plants. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. AI, aren't they? They're totally AI.
AI. Yeah.
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 I think it's a really, really smart move, especially like House of Protection have started to really gain traction after the last tour that they did out here.
Right. Yeah. They came
And
out with Batman's, right.
yeah, yeah, like perfect two bands for them to play with. They're a little bit different.
Yeah.
They offer something truly unique as well that doesn't take away from any other band on the bill, but it's definitely a moment on any bill where it stays with you.
Yeah.
And that's
It's energy.
that's only going to be a good thing for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we love House of Protection, and you know, we decided to have them feature on our record before they had released. Maybe it's supposed to have been released, maybe, but I'm not sure. Maybe nothing was out when they tracked that for our record. So, but we obviously we've been with Jordan, and Jordan had played us some stuff that was coming out, so we were sold.
Yeah,
We were sold straight away. So I thought that came out great, and like they were just a perfect vibe match for that song, you know, which is a kind of a little bit different from everything else on the record. But
for sure.
yeah, yeah, great guys, and yeah, great people, and the tunes are awesome. So you know, I think if they just carry on doing what they're doing, they're going to end up in a good place. You know what I mean?
For sure. Now, I will get on to the album in a moment because I haven't had a chance to speak to anyone from the band about the album yet. But you
Uh-huh.
did mention just a second ago that you feel like the band's at a really good place. Has there ever legitimately been a time where you didn't think the band was still growing? Because I mean, like it's obviously different when you're outside, but from the outside in Australia, even when there's been stylistic shifts and things,
Yeah,
it's always been Architects has always been a prominent name in the scene since Hollow
yeah,
Crown, and it's always
yeah,
been a band that has commanded a little bit more attention with every release. Obviously, some of it a little bit more negative than whatever came before or whatever,
sure.
but it's there's always been trajectory and growth as far as we see it.
I think I think the classic symptoms of a broken spirit, as everyone knows, was divisive, and it didn't quite impact the same way that our other records were. And I think that was just difficult for us in the sense that from the here and now, it was the same right after Hollow Crown, and then Daybreaker was bigger, Lost Forever was bigger, All Our Gods was bigger, Holy Hell was bigger, For Those That Wish to Exist was bigger. So it just felt like everything we do is just. I mean, we weren't exploding. This isn't like Sleep Token. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's still gradual, but um, you definitely felt that like forward momentum, forward shift with every single release. So when we do Classic Symptoms, and it didn't hit in that same way, and I understand why it didn't. I totally do, but that just felt like, oh, you know, it's just like a reality check, I think. You know, and I was just listening to the other night, I was listening to Zane Lowe's interview of Deftones that he just put on YouTube. And Chino was saying like after they did Around the Fur and White Pony, the album or two after that just suffered a bit because he felt like you just it's like being a pro athlete and you know you've won the league 3 seasons in a row. It's so
I wouldn't know
hard
what
to
that's
keep
like, man.
going, just mentally having the same pushing that even if you just drop 5%, it can make a huge difference, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he was kind of saying that like, oh, my attitude just the work ethic just suffered a little bit. And then they came back with Diamond Eyes and Koi and then they were massive. And then the same thing happens a little bit again.
Mm.
Um, so it can just happen like that with bands. You see it all the time, and sometimes they will admit it, and sometimes they won't. But that's definitely what happened with us with Classic Symptoms. But I will say that I I one of the things I love about being in this band is that we get to open new doors for ourselves. And Classic Symptoms maybe like we open some doors and not everything lands, but like that door is now still open for us.
Yeah,
And whether
absolutely.
you hear it or not, though we walked through those doors some of the time on the new album because it allowed us to do it, you know, and it's like you have to break down those walls and it's painful for the fans sometimes.
Yeah.
But over time they adjust to it, to what the band is now, you know, and there's like after they've been through those stages of grief, they land at acceptance, and
Yeah.
then you feel, you know, less. There's more freedom, I guess. You know, like obviously there has to be a level of freedom just to break down that wall in the first place, and you do it knowing that it's going to upset people.
Yeah.
Um, but once you've done it, you've done it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we've told everyone this is what we are. Like this is an aspect of the band, and now we have the freedom to roam in those areas if should we choose to.
But the other thing is it's hard being in a scene like metalcore because there's already that just that mind frame that's just set in. It's embedded in the culture of metalcore that change is a scary thing and change is a bad thing and change
Do we
is
get
going
it?
to reason that we lose our great metalcore bands.
What bands get it the worst? It feels like we get
Oh,
it the
you
worst.
cop it. A Parkway Drive cop it.
Parkwave
Heaps,
cop it
man.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, big
and like
time.
and Bring Me went through it, and now I think they've just got like the keys to the city and can do whatever, and like they've blown up so much in their new
Yeah,
sound that maybe people accept it. Parkway definitely get it. I think one of I think part of the reason why we get it though is that that run of records where we did Lost Forever into All Our Gods into Holy Hell, we sort of they were so like uncompromising, but the quality was there, and we weren't a massive band, but like we had like recognition, and if we if nothing else we had respect.
yeah,
People really
yeah,
respected us. It was like the we were like felt like we were maybe people will disagree with this, but like there was so much people felt there was so much integrity about what we did, and it was so uncompromising. uh and then we just decided to say fuck it, let's do something else, and that still to this day rubs people up the wrong way, you know. Um,
yeah.
I I think that we'll just always carry that with us. Fortunately for us, we did For Those Who Wish to Exist, and you know, like it,
Took a bit of the heat off.
#1 album. You see the award right there?
See
It was a
it.
#1 album.
It
So
was.
like,
Yeah,
we felt validated and vindicated that you know we had made the right decision, and it worked. And now like I really feel strongly that we just won't do our best work unless we break new ground, because otherwise we're doing like rehashes of ideas that we've already covered, and you
yeah,
just
for
don't
sure.
get the same inspiration when you try and do that.
Well, it doesn't excite you if you're doing other versions of things you've done before, regardless of how incredible it sounds, because you guys have
Yeah.
got a skill set. And when you're in that lane, there's few bands that can touch you guys. And that's not blowing smoke. That's the truth. That's why those three albums back to back had such an impact on the metalcore community. Do you think, looking back on it now, though, the respect that you had, do you feel the same way about that respect? Because it's almost like if someone is going to give you respect for demanding something exactly the way that they want it, does the respect still hold the same sort of, do you
Oh
get the
no, it's
sort of
turned
same
to
sense of pride?
disrespect. It's turned into deep disrespect and
Yeah.
hatred. Yeah, no, I mean like we joke all the time that like our band is so much more popular in physical reality than on the internet.
I think
And
that's
it
the
can
case with anyone though, man. Like even you have a
yeah,
look at
yeah, you're
Sleep
probably
Token
right.
with that sort of with that level of fame and
I see
growth.
people saying that about
Yeah.
Sleep Token. Oh, why is there so much hate for Sleep Token? I'm like,
Yeah.
they're the biggest fucking band in like alternative music. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't see. I'm not looking at the comments. I guess I just see their entire US arena tour selling out in fucking
Dude.
10 minutes, and go,
Yeah.
they don't seem that hated to
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Yeah. It's the Nickelback effect, man. Like tall poppy
But then
syndrome.
maybe, you know, I'm talking about our band being hated, and people will see just pictures of on our social media of us playing to big crowds, and they'll probably think the same thing. Well, you don't seem to be hated. Um, I just feel like at some point we had like so to like just go further on what I was just saying about those three albums. Tom died after all our gods, and then
Yeah.
we released Doomsday and Holy Hell, which is about Tom dying, and like the goodwill for our band went through the roof. Like people really wanted us to win, and then like that we released Animals, and those people, their goodwill
Turned on
just
you.
they
Yeah.
just turned on us so hard. And I remember when Animals came out, I was reading the comments on YouTube, and it was just RIP. RIP
Dude.
Architects, RIP, RIP. And I said to my wife, "Oh my God, I've killed the band. We've killed the band. We've killed the fucking band. Like we've blown it." And I was wrong.
I remember that. I remember Nathan and I talking to Sam about that in person when they were out last time, and and it just had me sort of thinking of you, like where Sam was essentially saying like all these, you know, c words, saying things on the internet that they would never say to our face. It's like, would you rock up to someone's funeral and say that sort of shit? No, you wouldn't. And
Yeah,
you know, and I sort of thought like it feels like everyone in the band has lost a brother, but you
yeah,
actually did lose a
yeah,
brother, and
yeah.
it's crazy to think that people can say things on the internet that they wouldn't say to someone's face, and it just be so nonchalant now, just like that's just the thing I
Yeah.
said.
I mean, look, I feel like once you hit a certain scale of reach on the internet now, you're basically going to, and you give them a platform for an opinion, you're going to get like all the opinions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're going to get all the opinions that you thought you might get. Yeah, and I kind of accept that now, you know. Um it's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? So and, and actually, you know, when we started releasing singles, I remember we released Whiplash and it was just all positive. And
Because it had screaming.
I was worried. Like, oh, this feels
Ah,
too positive. Because
okay.
we had released those three albums that I've been discussing, and that was all positive. Like we didn't get any negative stuff on that stuff. And the band was like nowhere near where it is now.
Mhm.
And the band really blew up off like all the negative stuff from the negative years have been our like best years. Um, so when we released Whiplash, I thought, kind of feels like it's not making the same splash, and maybe that's true. Like, I mean, Everything Ends went online, and we knew it was going to get trashed, but you know, it sits on Spotify, you know, above
Yeah, yeah.
Whiplash and Brain Dead and these other songs that was it was like all universally positive. And it's do you know what it is? I was thinking that this like tendency to for everyone to like high five and fist pump over the heavy tracks. It's like it's almost like virtue signaling.
Oh,
It's
100%.
like we're like we love the heavy shit, and then they don't fucking listen to it. You know what I mean? And then we
The
release
other,
like the most like blatant, outrageous pop song that we could possibly write, knowing that it's going to like drive people crazy, and everyone listens to it.
yeah. And they're sitting in their car, driving along, listening to it. The girlfriend looks over, they got a single tear. And oh, it's just the wind. It's just,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
that
Don't worry, the
rubbish.
next
It's fine.
track's good. The next track's better. Don't worry.
It is crazy, like the yeah, the way. But I mean, like you said, you know, these tracks, people come back to them and they find a new respect for them, and because they are the outliers as well, you know. And look, it's weird to me because one of the one of the first ways that Architects was discovered was on that Bring Me song all them years ago, and it
Yeah,
was it was Sam doing clean vocals. You know what I mean? His
yeah,
favorite band is the Beatles. If you think that you guys are
yeah.
just going to do nothing but breakdowns and blast beats and screams, you're mental.
And you know, like every time the band in like the heavier years, like every time we dipped our toes into melody, we got the feedback from the crowd was like this.
Yeah,
Or, you know, the last track on Hollow Crown, the title track, randomly became on that cycle like the song of the set that everyone sang along to. It was like, okay,
yeah.
well, that was just like an experiment. Everyone likes it. And the more we did it, it was like the crowd was feeding back to us like, this is what we like. It's
Then
so
you've got
funny, and
that.
you go down it, and then I
Yeah,
mean, look, I accept that us doing a bit of singing in Hereafter or Raw Beggars is different from us doing like a straight up 4 on the 4 pop track like Everything Ends. But like it ultimately we every time we've been led down that path, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. To a certain degree, we've been
For
led down
sure.
that path.
But again,
Yeah.
you also have been led down that path by, as you said, the people who are at the shows, who you are getting an
Yeah,
actual
absolutely.
human response from, not the people on the
Absolutely.
internet that are at home going, "Didn't go to see Architects tonight because they're shit now." Like
Yeah, yeah. And
it's
it's funny now because like I was saying at the start of this chat, like because our touring is more intermittent, we spend a lot of time at home, not on tour, and so there's definitely been periods in the past, less so these days, but where like your only connection with fans is what you see online, and you
yeah,
start to wonder who really likes our band, I
yeah.
mean, and then you go and play shows, or we go and do some signings or whatever, and it's like, oh fuck, like this band really means a lot to people, and it's hard for you to fully comprehend or tap into all these millions of people's relationship with your band, but they
Yeah.
are out there. You just don't sense it all the time when you're sort of living your normal life.
Well, that's it, yeah. But that's the other thing as well, is when you do have that break and you're living your normal life, you also can't escape the bullshit that people decide that they're going to throw at you at any given time. Um,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know who it was that I was talking to. It was someone else from a band who has copped a little bit of online shit, and they were saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be great to do the Jay and Silent Bob thing? Like, oh, you motherfuckers are going to pay," and then actually just go to their houses, knock on the door, they open up, and you go, "Was this your comment?" Just, oh,
Yeah,
oh, I'm
yeah. I
so
mean,
sorry.
our manager has always said to us, like, he always lives by this mantra of post and ghost. Just like post whatever you're gonna post and then walk away. Drop the mic and walk away, and let what if any heckling, you just walk away. So we
I
recently read.
I was guilty of that at one stage in my life, but I would do it like just to get people arguing in the comments. I'd drop in and I'd drop something, not even controversial, just being a dick. And then I'd just sit back with the popcorn and just watch everyone just fight each other.
Yeah, and people are doing that loads. There's loads of people just like dropping rage bait, and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I mean it's a nutty space, but I think that's why it's so nice for us to get out and play
How
shows and see the reality.
how much do you sort of engage with the whole social media and stuff, like, like how
Not,
much attention do you pay to it?
I mean, I'm not a big poster on social media. I only have Instagram, and I look at it, but you know, if we play a show, I'll post on it, and that,
Yeah.
to be honest, even that feels pretty fucking pointless these days. Like the
Hi,
engagement you
it's me
get, like
again.
I don't know, like look, I just don't feel like there are some bands that have crazy fandom, and I just don't feel like we're that band really. And so like I don't know, like sometimes I feel like, do I even need an Instagram account? Like we'll have a band one, sure, but like
Yeah.
people, how many people give a fuck about Dan Searle posting? I think they like it if I post a drum video, but like
Dude, 100%. I want to see you doing drum playthroughs, and that's my favorite shit to watch. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like to
that's
actually
what
see.
that's I mean that's it's getting to the point where if I use social media personally, that's kind of like the only thing worth me posting, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah.
look, I try and like disengage with it and see it for what it is. And I have no doubt that my life would be better without it. And like I would recommend my kids like don't use it or engage with it. Like I don't
No.
really see that it's a positive, a net positive for anyone. But like our band is, and I suppose you would say our business is tied up in it, and it's
Yeah,
like
to an extent.
essential part of it.
I don't think
But yeah,
humans are well equipped with our own emotional capacity to have something like that can be so emotionally overwhelming and so stimulating, but also it can kind of just minimize emotions. Like it
yeah,
minimizes feelings, it dehumanizes people. And I won't obviously go down the rabbit hole of it, but I've just gone through it with my son with Snapchat, and
Yeah,
just having this access to all his friends, which is the greatest thing in the world, but also got access to all these other people that you don't know and that don't know
yeah,
you. And it's just crazy that it's become such a normal thing now.
yeah.
Which is
It's
why
hijacking our brains, isn't it?
100%.
It's
Yeah.
like designed to hijack our brains. And I think I sort of value clarity and memory and clear thinking more than ever now, like having gone through the sleepless years of having infants and, just getting older generally, I feel like these things I just like value have running at 100% more than I used to. So uh just like aimlessly scrolling on autopilot, um I just I'm aware that that's not good for my mind.
Yeah.
It's
Has
not going to
that,
make me better.
do you think that's become more clear to you since having kids?
Yeah, I mean everything does.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like
Yeah, it
you
does
kind of
really, yeah.
just it puts everything into focus, and you start making different life choices. I don't drink anymore, and like I'm very like I have to get 8 hours sleep. I prioritize those types of things over everything else now, and unfortunately, touring is not great for that, for sleep.
Yeah.
So
Touring's
I
not
don't know how
great
many
for
people.
most things.
I don't know how many people have tried sleeping on a tour bus, but it definitely seems to get harder as you get older, and you just sort of feel like you're sleeping in bits all night. But
Dude, there's nothing quite
woe
like
is
your
me,
own
man.
bed.
Woe is me.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
wouldn't want to be. You wouldn't want to be me. You wouldn't want to be me.
oh no, not at
No,
all. No,
you wouldn't want to
no,
be me.
it would suck to live the dream. Now people will get the shits. Fans of the channel will get the shits if I don't talk about the album a little bit. Uh,
Uh-huh.
dude, well done. Like, I mean, truly such a fucking cracking album. And I mean this when I say that Elegy could be the best song that you guys have ever written. What a start to an album, but what an
Yeah,
absolute juggernaut of a song. And it just perfect with what you said before about opening doors. That to me is the perfect amalgamation of everything that architects have ever done. Uh, and all those doors were open to that one track. It's
yeah,
relentless, it's tough, it's technical, it's catchy, it's beautiful. What a cracker.
yeah. In a way, it feels like that song is like, yeah, it's Architect in a nutshell, I guess, in 2025. Because actually, like, there's you can sort of hear the prototype elegy on the first track of Daybreaker back in 2011 or whenever it came out. We we had sort of dabbled in that atmospheric electronic kind of thing, but we just and you can hear a bit of Nihilist when it kicks in, and then
Yeah.
like so it's going through these different styles that we've done before, but like just trying to refine it and do it in a better way, with on steroids, and yeah, I mean that look, that it was written, it was purpose built for that. That was like, okay, how does this album start? What's the
Mm.
what's the best way um you know to draw people in, and to build, set the tone for the album, if you like. So yeah, we were all super happy with Elegy, and we actually haven't played it yet, so I'm looking forward to
Really?
performing it live. No, we haven't played it yet. We've
Dude,
been we've been keeping it.
have you been keeping it for Australia?
We will play it in Australia.
Fucking
No,
earth. Yes.
we've just been we it's a long album cycle, and like we just feel like there's a lot of new songs to put in the set, and
Yeah.
we've got 11 albums. So
Yeah.
it's hard to please everyone. Like, I just saw, I actually just, speaking of comments that we were saying before, I saw someone posting on a post about our US tour saying, if you don't play 3 songs from Lost Forever, Lost Together, then I'm selling my ticket. Um, and it's very hard to build a set list that like includes everything that everyone wants, because everyone's kind of got their shit,
Oh, you've got like
Um,
people who would feel that way about Hollow Crown and like
yeah,
Here and Now even, and nothing
yeah.
gets played on
Like
it.
there is not an architect show where people don't leave feeling very disappointed.
How, and this is something that we ask everyone, and it's because I'm just so interested in how, at this point, then do you craft a set list? How do you guys, how do architects go about knowing which is the right time to cut a song? It's like, well, this city's heard this song before, but
Yeah,
you know,
there's an element of that, but like I know some people won't like this, but like do you remember Metallica did like a bunch of touring where like their set list was fan voted, right?
yes,
Spotify pretty much does that.
yeah, true, yeah, okay.
You
So
can
you
see,
guys,
I mean, our set list is pretty much with if we're headlining, there might be a few exceptions, but pretty much like you can go down our top 15 songs on Spotify, like as in like not what has the most streams, but what is being played most right now.
yeah, okay,
No, and obviously when an album comes out, like those songs really get the love, and that is the case for a while, and that's a wave that plays out for a little while, and unless your album doesn't hit, and then that's not the case. But we've got an album that has gone over really well, and like I think a lot of what would be really tough for a lot of those old fans is they if it would be to see like even the tracks on Classic Symptoms like very much outstreaming the older stuff that they're asking for us to play.
yeah.
So, we have to choose really between like upsetting the majority or upsetting the minority, and we just go for upsetting the minority.
That's a
I
smart
think that's
decision,
probably
isn't
the
it?
most smartest way to go, right? Yeah, and unfortunately for us, that choice means we play predominantly the newer songs that we've
Yeah.
written more recently and then obviously feel more an attachment to. And I'm so grateful that our band isn't that band that forever is playing the hit off their first record.
No.
For as great as it would have been to have blown up on our first record and not have been broke for years and years,
Yeah.
the fact that we consistently release our biggest shit now every time is that's like such a blessing for us,
It's
because
also a testament to the fact that you guys have actually learnt along the way,
yeah, I mean, again, I wish we had learned earlier, but it's nice for us that our new we can keep releasing stuff that people embrace, and so
Yeah.
yeah, our set list it looks like that, but look, like people will be like, I can't believe you didn't play this deep cut from Daybreaker. Well, you're just attached from reality. Okay. Completely detached from reality. I remember I went to see Deftones when they were touring their self-titled record at Brixton Academy in London. God knows how long ago. So they're touring the album after White Pony. And they didn't play like Knife Party. And I was like, they didn't play Knife. Like, what the fuck? They didn't play Knife Party? Are you kidding? How could they not play Knife Party? One of the album tracks from
Yeah.
White Pony
Yeah.
that,
Great song.
probably like great song, but like most of their fans probably weren't as attached to Knife Party as I was.
No. Dude,
And so I've been there, I get it.
it's
But then
thrice
again,
it's
that wasn't,
thrice with Deadbolt. Like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like they did that
Well, I
one
mean, fortunately,
one
we
tour
don't
where
have that. Fortunately, we don't have that too bad where people are like, you got to play Early Grave or
what is the
whatever.
one track that you think that people would be most pissed that you don't play? Because you've got a lot of songs that people kind of expect to hear.
Yeah,
See, as much as people might not like it, but I think personally, I think it would be Animals because I feel like because that was such a big song, like people should
Animals is by
expect to hear it.
far my biggest concern now is that we never outdo Animals because Animals is like I like you get bands have like their chop suey or their last resort,
Yeah,
and obviously like Papa Roach and System of a Down have had lots of other massive songs, but like those songs are like
the ones.
next
Yeah,
level,
yeah,
like
yeah.
so. Yeah, my fear is that Animals is like that for us, So I definitely want to. I feel almost like I'm in competition with our own song now. Like, okay, we've got to top this tune. But yeah, I mean, look, everyone obviously people want to. The reality is people want to hear Animals. It's like it's by far our most played song, and it's on the brink of going gold in the States, and none of our other songs are in that league. So
Yeah, wow.
yeah, that's the reality. But people from the part from from earlier years of the band, or maybe not even earlier, but like let's call them the middle years from where I'm sat now, they'll want Broken Cross or Naysayer, or maybe they'll want Match Made in Heaven or Nihilist. And
Yeah.
yeah, I understand that. And we try to, we've played those songs and over the last few years, so we still put them in there. But um, those same fans will also, one song, does that really satisfy? If like their shit is all I got, it's
Yeah.
just playing one song really scratch that itch for them if they paid for a ticket. I don't know. It's tricky, but
Also, I
look,
feel like the fans that have,
dream.
yeah, but fans that have come along for the ride and that have been there from, Hollow Crown or
Yeah,
even earlier and are still here now, they they know what the band is about, and they know that you're going to get that sort of that progression in where the set goes. It's not newer fans' fault that they didn't decide to listen to you guys 5 albums ago. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's no one. It's
yeah.
not your fault. It's no one's fault but theirs. Um, so
I
it's
think
rocking a
you know
hard
what
place, I guess.
I'm always like amazed by the amount of fans that like have gone along for the ride with us, and like we're really appreciative of it. And it's interesting, like I see in some countries it's more than others,
Mm.
but for the most part, people have been receptive. And like we went from Holy Hell, which was like obviously a heavy record, and then I think like the third single from For Those That Wish to Exist was Dead Butterflies, and it was like everyone was into it, everyone's down with it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
oh wow, like as
Look
if
at
we
what they
can.
can do. Just don't do it too
Yeah,
much.
it's just amazing that like some people are willing that many of our fans are sort of open-minded enough to like go on that journey, because I don't know, I feel like it is quite a lot to ask of some fans. It is.
Yeah, but I mean, music is an incredible thing in terms of how it makes people look at a lot of stuff. How it makes them look at their own growth. If you're going along with the journey of an artist and they're telling all these stories about their life and their struggles and their accomplishments and all that sort of stuff, it for me, I know it kind of made me sort of take a look at myself in a lot of ways, and I want to hear a band be themselves. I want to hear them be unapologetically themselves. I like
Yeah.
certain sounds more, but I want to hear a band telling their stories, and I want to hear a band being who they are. Because if you've been into music for long enough, you really do start to see through the bullshit. You start to see through the fake. We're doing what's now and we're doing what's popular and we're doing what's cool because all that matters is now the clicks, the likes, the
Yeah.
sales.
Don't you hate it when you're excited for a new release and you hear it and it sounds like the last thing they did? I just find that so it just loses my interest instantly. Like I don't
Yep,
even want to. If I go a few tracks and it's like the same as what they did before, I'm just like, well, okay, that I'm out. I want to hear
100%.
I want to hear something new.
Yeah.
So
Look,
like,
there's certain in saying that there's certain bands and certain styles that I'm like, this is what they do, this is what I listen to them for. That's fine. This is just like a guilty pleasure or something that I just love, and I'm okay if they keep doing that. Like Pennywise are never going to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean?
sure, they're not going to do a Pink Floyd record.
Yeah.
But I will say this: there is like there's a period of time that goes by where I do then feel like if this is why like we bought some things back on this record, because like you take a break from a certain thing and then you bring it
Yes.
back and there's like suddenly it feels like there's a buzz about it again. It feels good to hear it again, but it's not like you've been listening to the same thing the last few records. It's like, the riff in Curse. It's like, oh, that sounds like an Architect riff, and that feels cool that like you're hearing that again.
Yeah.
Just even if it's just that moment. It's like Deftones just put out the new song, and it sounds like something from like Diamond Eyes era, and it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
cool to hear that again. But if they just kept on rehashing that and doing the same, it would feel like, okay, well, this is already played out.
Exactly. And I think it's also because any decent and honest musician has picked up, if they're opening the doors like you've said you guys have done, you're picking up nuances and you're picking up, these minor stylistic details that people hear, and the familiarity doesn't seem rehashed, it seems fresh again, which is a cool thing,
Yeah.
which I think you guys did really well on this album.
Yeah, yeah. I always reference this, but um, I read Mike Skinner's book, Mike Skinner from the Streets, and he speaks about like this, what he refers to as this Goldilocks zone, where what people really want is something it's familiar enough but different enough. It's like this, you've got like the extremely different, exactly the same, and right here in the middle is like that's what people really want. They
Yeah,
want it to feel new, but they want it to feel familiar at the same time. And I understand that. I think I that makes sense to me. And I think with this album, that's kind of where we landed.
100%.
It's yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect Architects album as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm going to ask a couple of hard questions. I was going to ask what song you're looking forward to playing live the most off the new album, but you've probably played a bunch of them. So let's go with favorite track off the album. What would it be? And then I'm going to go gun to your head. If you had to cut a song from the album, what would it be?
Okay. I will say my favorite song to play live has turned out to be Whiplash. It just sounds thick live. It
Yeah.
just sounds heavy and thick. Um, my favorite track on the album, it's it's my least favorite to play live. It's probably Black Hole
Oh,
because it's
really?
yeah. I just think it was the last song we wrote. We wrote the record in 3 sessions. Um, so the first session we wrote just Curse and Evil Eyes and another track which didn't make the record, and then we did another long session where we wrote everything else apart from Black Hole,
Yeah.
and then we felt that there was a track missing, and so we came back and wrote Black Hole. We knew we wanted to write a heavy song. Didn't want to write just like the danger of writing a heavy song is that you write a heavy song, everyone goes, yay, heavy song, great, but no one actually listens to it. So we're
Yeah.
like, okay, we want to write a heavy song, but it's got to be like, it's got to be nuts. It's got to have the fucking chorus. It's got to have the chorus, not just
Yeah.
some fucking bullshit chorus. It's got to have like the melody that hits and you go, ah. And it also needs to be like heavier than anything we've ever done before. And so yeah, we ticked all those boxes, and I just feel like, when I listened to the album, like I didn't want Black Hole to be popular because it's very difficult to play, very hard for Sam to sing. And so I really would have loved it if like we never had to perform it. But I think it's just a good song,
Yeah.
when all was said and done, it's just a good song. So I would probably say Black Hole. If I had to cut one song off the album, it's a very harsh question.
I know
I
it's
don't know.
like making you choose your favorite child.
It's not going to be one of the. I mean, I don't know. I really like Chandelier. Maybe Chandelier. I don't know. For me, like, I would like to lean more into that kind of style of stuff, maybe. But look, it's going to be one of the songs that isn't a single, obviously, because we chose those singles for a reason.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those out. I like them all that. And the difficult thing we had on this record is that picking the singles was actually really hard. And it got to the point where we started asking people, what do you think the single should be? And everyone you'd be like, I think Landmine should be the single. I think Judgment Day. I think Black Hole. I think, like we had a radio plugger who worked for us in the States. She was like, I think you should release Chandelier and Judgment Day. We're like, this is too confusing. So yeah, it's a hard one. Look, we tried to make it all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
And I think the record is very consistent back to front actually. And there's definitely been, like I think about For Those That Wish to Exist now, and I think this would probably be a better album if we cut like 3 or 4 songs from it. We make it like
Oh,
more, yeah, yeah.
just sort
But
of more punchy and shorter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And to the point, I feel like it could have been like actually, if we cut a few songs, it would have been a stronger record. But that's
Okay.
not what you're asking me. So yeah, I think because that was all the questions, right? I got all of them there.
You got them. You nailed them.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go even a little bit more difficult. You've got so many songs in the back catalogue. Are there any songs off the top of your head that you can think of that you guys haven't played live that you would really love to? Any deep cuts that you haven't played live that you think would just resonate with the crowd, or any that you'd just love to play just to give it a
Yeah,
go?
I think resonate. I think if you put resonate in the crowd in there, it basically kills the question. Like whenever we play it, anything that's remotely deep cut, the crowd is just dead. And and we've always been super insecure about that. Like we really struggle when the crowd dies down. Like the band is really built on like energy in the songs, and then the way that comes back to us when we play shows. And when the crowd is quiet, like I can see that people are listening to Dead Butterflies, for instance. We play it and it's like it's obviously not a song that people are going to fucking mosh to, and
No, yeah,
it's a pretty low key song, but like even just like we struggle to even sit through that experience of everyone just standing and watching. We always want it to be like a bit of a party, if you
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Um, you're gonna have me just sat here, sort of frozen like a statue, thinking about this forever. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I Something will probably come to me, but
That's all right. You can mull over it for the next 6 months and tell me in
yeah, I'll tell you when I see
yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, man. We got so many. We got so many, but I really we do kind of just move on and move forward, and we're not like we don't look back very much with the band, which is obviously something that upsets people. But
Well, that's the thing. You're still a very active band. You're still releasing, well, clearly releasing some of the best stuff that you've ever done. How do you feel about nostalgia tours, album nostalgia tours? Is there any
oh
chance
yeah,
of
yeah, right.
those things? Because you
Yeah,
know people are going to want them.
yeah. So we just had last year was 10 years for Lost Forever. Next year is 10 years All Our Gods. Yeah, I think 10 years is too soon, personally. I saw Parkway obviously did like that. They have done like the 20 years for their band, and I think
Yeah,
that's cool and really worked for them as a celebration of the band. Um, I think we're 20 years next year as a band, but we're kind of like caught up in this album cycle, so it's kind of not really the time. I think maybe, when we're
25th.
getting
Go 25th.
well, maybe there'll be like a 15 or 20 year thing, but like again, we're just like really in a rhythm of moving forward what we're doing now, so it doesn't
Yeah.
seem relevant. And
It kind of
uh,
derails what you're going to do
yeah,
moving
like it's
forward,
kind
doesn't
of
it?
it's just not relevant to what we're doing.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to sound disrespectful, but like I think, if a lot, not all, but a lot of the bands that do it, their album anniversary thing, it's usually to try and put on a bigger tour because that's the album that everyone liked, and so it's like kind of a financial incentive. And
Yeah.
just honest, we just don't. There just isn't a financial incentive for us to do it because our business is good as it is,
It's
So
number one
like it,
record.
yeah, if our new album, our last few albums have been our best selling records. So like, would we really do an anniversary tour of a less popular album?
Yeah,
Maybe one
true.
day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
I'd go.
But
I'd watch.
now it's just not the time. But like, I get why bands do it. And like, I don't want to say anything that makes everyone sort of make me eat my words. And oh, Dan once said this, and look at them doing 20 years of Hollow
The other
Crowns.
boys come in one day and go, by the way, dude, we're doing an anniversary of this. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, like, but people think that, you know, I think s- there was someone saying that like they wanted us to come and play at a big hardcore festival and doing Hollow Crown in full, but yeah, like to get us to do that, it's just the reality is we're going to be playing probably a smaller show. We're going to have to do a
Yeah.
week of rehearsals. That week of rehearsals, like for us to do rehearsals costs so much money now just to get the
Yeah.
crew together and all the audio hire and like the overheads for us to do this stuff is so expensive. We're going to have to study that material because we've all like honestly, like if you said how does this there's album tracks on Holy Crown. I honestly couldn't recall how they go.
Yeah.
If you ask me to hum out the first riff, I'll go, I actually don't know it. Um, a couple of years ago, I walked into a restaurant in Copenhagen, and a song was playing, and I was like, "Oh, I recognize this song from
Oh
like
no.
back in the day." Like it feels like something I was listening to when I was a teenager. Like, what is it? Feels like some really random underground shit that like I've just remember from a dream.
Don't
And
tell
then
me.
I said to Ali, do you know what this is? He was like, no. And then we like Shazammed it. It was like, architects, this confession means nothing. It's like, wow, this is us. Sick.
Oh,
But
that's probably one
that
of the
is
best
like
things I've ever heard, dude. That's
that
fantastic.
song is like the deepest architects cut possible because it's it's like the album track that we wrote in the studio when we
Yeah.
were 17 making our first album, and it's just a load of fucking bullshit
Dude,
basically,
go and
but
check that
it was
guy's
on
post
in this fucking
history.
restaurant.
Go and
Huh?
check his post history. I reckon he's one of the guys that been saying, this band's shit now. I only like the old stuff.
It was super weird. And do you know what was really weird about it? That song was played, and then it was Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. And I was like, so what is this fucking playlist they've got on right now? Because they've gone from honestly the smallest Architect song ever written to one of the biggest alternative songs ever
Yeah.
released
The emo
in one
anthem.
track. I'm actually just curious. I want to see um in the last 24 hours, if I can see how many people listen to that song, uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna be able to
Oh,
get it up.
dude.
80, it got 80 listens in the last 24 hours. 80,
Yeah, that's
80.
not bad. That's
It's
not
not bad.
bad.
It's not
I
bad.
mean, I know
Probably
there's
a
like
few of them at that
7.4
restaurant.
billion people in the world, but like, yeah, it's that restaurant. It's just that and the Black Parade just on
I'm
repeat.
not I'm not getting a massive royalty check off the back of that song, I'll tell you that.
All right, man. Well, I just got a couple more for you before we go, just because I'm selfish and I want to know. You guys have had plenty of collaborations in the past. Who is a dream artist for you to collaborate with that you haven't yet? Who's on the hit list? Dream in an ideal world,
Yeah,
golden ticket.
I think Chino. Yeah, I think Chino would be. I like the first song I ever performed on stage with my brother was Be Quiet and Drive.
Nice.
They're just like the band that has stuck with me for the long. They're probably Deftones and Tool are the two bands. Deftones maybe more just because they're a little bit more active. Um, so yeah, I just like got so
Well,
much
Deftones
respect
and
for
Tour, man. Like Maynard did sing on that Deftones song, and
he
you
did,
know,
and it's a fucking great song. I just
fucking
got
banger.
I feel like Chino's slightly less likely to tell us to fuck off. I think
Oh,
Maynard
dude,
would say,
yeah,
"Are you fucking kidding me? You bunch of fucking." I feel like like I've been in Maynard's orbit at festivals, like seen him around, and I
yeah,
feel like I know obviously he wouldn't, but I feel like if I said hi to him and he told me to just fuck off, I feel like I'd be okay with it. I'm not one to go and speak to these people. Like I don't really court people's attention when I see
yeah,
artists that
yeah.
I respect. I just leave them to their thing. But
But you're still a musician, like you're still a music fan. You've still got your idols. Like
yeah,
we all want
yeah,
to. I'll have you know though, it was the case like when we were going to chat with Chino, we did a chat with Chino of Good Things a few years back. He was one of the ones that we were like, oh God, like what's this dude going to be like? Because this is fucking Chino, man. He's like,
yeah.
skate punk new metal god. Uh, Literally the first thing he said to us was, "Can he have a hug?" And we're just like, "You can have whatever
Yeah,
you
I mean,
want, bro."
yeah. From what I hear, he's really sound. Sam's, chatted with him a bit and says he's super sound guy. So we did a festival where he was performing with Crosses, and it was like more of a hardcore metalcore festival, and Crosses were just a late addition to the bill for some reason.
Yeah.
And like there's the big backstage, like courtyard area with all the dressing rooms. And I think like every band in there was just like, what the fuck is Gino doing here? Just because he's obviously like with Deftones has just like transcended that
Yeah.
the sort of world that all the artists that were playing that festival. I mean, I think we were like the biggest band playing the festival. So, for uh, him to be there just seems super random. But yeah, look, we've got so much respect for him and Deftones as a whole. So yeah, it'd be awesome to yeah, who
Well,
knows?
let's manifest it. All right, final one, and I'll let you get on with your day. You're a busy man. Give me your ultimate festival lineup. 5 bands. You guys don't have to be playing it. It's Dan Fest. Let's go. Who's on it? I assume it's going to be Deftones.
Yeah, and Tool. Let's put
Yeah.
Tool on there for sure. Who else would I have? Tool, Deftones. Fuck, do I even like music anymore? I don't know. Pantera. Do you know what? Like a couple summers ago, we played Grass Pop and we watched Pantera, and I'm not like a die-hard Pantera fan, but I know the tunes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I'm gonna put Pantera in just because like the 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 riffs are just
Yeah. The
like
riffs are incredible,
every
man.
song
Yeah.
starts and you're like, oh, this tune. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
one after another. It feels like they've got like a bottomless pit of just bangers,
Oh,
you know?
Dimebag was a freak. Was an absolute freak.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll put those guys in and then we'll do something more mellow. Should we do something more mellow? Like we'll put Sigur Rós in.
Oh shit. Good
Yeah,
call.
and then we'll have John Hopkins as well.
Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
let's mix it up.
Mix it
It's an
up.
eclectic
Yeah.
festival. It's one of these cool eclectic festivals that they get these days, where there's
You know
like,
what? If you put that festival on, I reckon Maynard might say hi to you because he'll probably appreciate that.
yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, I live in this, I live in the metalcore sphere, which isn't drenched in cool, is it? Let's face
Yeah,
it.
well, you're only there when you're releasing metalcore bangers, remember? So no more
Yeah,
pop songs
yeah.
and you'll be
You know
fine.
what? Like metalcore will be like new metal, and in you know when I'm 50, it'll be like it'll be bigger than ever, and suddenly like everyone will be like, do you know what? Limp Bizkit are actually just fucking sick, and let's all go and see them go nuts, and you
Yeah,
know,
it's happening. We're watching it happen, man. Like,
it seems to be happening, doesn't it?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well, dude,
happy.
thanks so much, man. It's been a pleasure. Great to catch up, and yeah, genuinely excited for this show. It's gonna be a rad tour. We'll see you there. We'll catch up.
Yeah, see you there, man. Nice talk to you.
No
Take it
problems, man.
easy.
Thank you so much.